Yo, it's your boy YTS on the beat, man. You know, I make up the tag team duo of Shaq and Kobe, aka Fusion Radio. You know, me and my boy Brian Stinson, and we got another dope guest in the building, man. My boy Galaxy Francis, man. How you doing, man? Welcome to Fusion Radio.
I need all the radio drops right there. I'm good, bro. I'm feeling good. Thank y'all for having me.
Oh, for sure, man. For sure, man. I'm just glad that you came and you gave us some of your time so we could come in and talk about some of your good music.
Grateful.
For sure. So first off, I want to start off with this name, Galaxy Francis. That's not like something you just hear all the time, just a real common name. So just break down how you end up coming up with that name and like what it means to you.
That's a bad. Well, I love space. For real. Like, I'm just like in awe about the concept of space, cosmos, all of that. But what the name means to me is like you think of a galaxy, you think about something that is made up of a bunch of gas, dust, different worlds, different sources of life, possibly. And I think a lot of us as humans, myself, I feel like there's a lot that I do musically. There's a lot that I do personally. Like I produce, I rap, I sing. I can background dance if you need me to. You know, I can probably pick up the bass and play it, you know, but there was a time where I felt like I had to section all of those things off. So Galaxy is not only just a name to represent my brand, but it's a reminder and an affirmation to allow space for all of those things to coexist within myself. And I feel guilty for it.
Oh, for sure. So, like, in some type of way, tell us about, like, how it transitions into your music in some type of way.
I like atmospheric music. If you listen to my music, it feels like somebody named Galaxy. It feels like space. I'm creating worlds. And I like stuff that's smooth. When I'm making music, I'm imagining, like, if I had a Cadillac that was going through space, like, what would I be listening to for real?
Oh, man. You know what that sound like to me? That sound like one of those 420 friendly moments, man. When you just super high and you just floating through the sun. That's what that sound like.
You know?
See, you know, here at Fusion Radio, we don't promote drugs, but at the same time, you feel me? We do what we do. So,
to each their own.
Yeah, to each his own. You feel me? Here at Fusion Radio, we in Illinois, and Illinois is legal.
It's like when you go to the smoke shop and you see the things, and they're like, for tobacco use only.
Exactly.
You know,
we know
using
that needs for tobacco.
For
Ain't that right, Brian? We don't use those for tobacco.
He finna mute both of us.
I can't do nothing but laugh, man. The visuals that I'm getting when you guys are talking is so
yeah, because see, people don't know, but Brian a closet smoker. He don't like telling people he smokes. I know you.
I heard how you reacted to the wedding cake. He reacted like he's had experience with the wedding cake.
Wedding cake. I got some of that in my back pocket. You know, like stuff like that. Man. I don't know, man. But no, back on the serious note though. So like, when did you really start getting to the point where you was like, okay, I want to make music. This is what I want to do.
The furthest back I can remember, just like having an itch to make music, was like when I was like 7 or 8, and I would just ride up and down the block singing, and that was just so freeing to me, like on my bike. And I would find myself like freestyling songs just randomly, you know. Like if I'm going through something in life, or I mess around, trip over a wire, I'll sing about that right after it happens, you know. So it's always kind of been in me, but to set that intention to like really say something and take that step to put music out, it's probably like around 14, 15.
14, 15. So like at 14, what were you necessarily going through that made you feel the way you felt about music? Because, you know, like, one thing I do like about music, though, is no real blueprint to making music. No one can really tell you how to make music. So, like, at you being 14 and you seeing the world for how you were seeing it through your eyes, what made you take your music approach the way you did?
I want to be Lil Wayne and Lupe Fiasco. Like, and I grew up on Dr. Dre. So a lot of that was just having that music in me, having a household that appreciated music, and then also feeling empowered to do it. So I had friends that had like cracked versions of Fruity Loops, and this is back in like Yahoo Messenger days. So we sending zip files through the instant chat, and we taught each other how to make music. So I almost started for real, like making juke tracks, because that was the type of people I was around, people that footwork, people that was doing music or just a part of the culture of like Terror Squad, of like creation, of, you know, household names in Chicago for real. So I was really inspired to create because that's what I was around, and wanting to be like my heroes, Lupe, Lil Wayne, Jay-Z, even Charles Hamilton at the time. Like, I wanted to make music that sounded like that. And this was also at the time when, like, when trap is really surfacing, you know what I'm saying? So Jeezy, T.I., you know, a lot of Scrappy, you know, those type of household names. So people are producing Lex Luger type beats. People are producing a lot of these OG trap hi-hat roll beats, but I want to rap over New York 90s boom bap. So I had to find my way of almost bridging that gap.
No, we was over here laughing because I always like get on Brian for like being old and stuff. So like I tell him his era was like people like Lupe Fiasco, T.I., like Jeezy, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I was just telling him earlier, we was talking about Jeezy earlier. So when you started talking about like Lupe, Jeezy and stuff like that, that's why at the time I'm like, that's your era right there. He was in your prime when that came out. You know? Doing your thing. Plus, he a big Lupe Fiasco fan.
Bro, Lupe is like my greatest of all time. You know, like you have the conversations about basketball, and like for some people it's Mike, for some people it's LeBron, for some people it's Larry, Magic. Like Lupe is my GOAT. Lupe is my LeBron.
So, personal story. Galaxy Francis did not know this, but guess who's my inspiration for doing radio?
What's that?
Lupe Fiasco.
Yeah, come on.
Went to high school with Lupe Fiasco.
Really
good friends with Lupe Fiasco. Watched him in his early career, and he knows it. It's been expressed.
Yeah.
Him, along with so many others at Thornton High School, which the guest before you actually was from there. You
Went to
know,
Thornwood.
so yeah. See, look at this, man. Family. Okay, so yeah, man. It was seeing them rap. Him, Bishop G, Doughboy, and so many other people that, man, I was like, man, I just want to do something to help y'all, man, and showcase y'all greatness. And so I had no idea that so many years ago that this would be where I would be at. So, yeah, man,
That's
kudos
beautiful.
out to him, man, and everything. So let's talk about the music that you typically create.
Yeah. I could go so many directions with that. What about the music I create? I like to tell people, if someone were to ask me what kind of music I do rap and B. Like I really like music that sounds like Yeat and Travis and Don Toliver and Gunna and Future, but I also really love like Jodeci, Genuine, Missy Elliott, Timbaland. And I've also been in like the 70s bag lately. I don't know if you know who One Way is.
Yeah.
You know, so I've been in my One Way bag lately. So I like so many different types of music that I try to find ways to create spaces for all of that in my music. But if it's on a playlist, it's on like Fresh Finds R&B or like mellow bars, you know?
So you brought by two songs that exemplify, man, what you bring to the table, man. One is called The Shining. The other one is called Friendly Skies, man. Which one you want to play first?
Sheesh, play The Shining. The
The
Shining's
Shining?
a good first one, yeah.
All right. Now, what should we know about The Shining?
I like Stanley Kubrick. It's a great movie. I like battle rap, so this song was inspired by name flipping the movie The Shining, and as many Stanley Kubrick references as I could fit in that didn't sound corny. And it's really bright. And it's a song I feel like it feels like this room right now, this orange.
But there's one more thing that I want you to really talk about, and I want you to take us into the feature, who is Jay Wood, man. Talk to us about Jay Wood and what Jay Wood brings to the table. Shout out his social media so we can go and support Jay Wood.
Absolutely. Jay Wood's good people's. I had a good time getting him on the song. It was really organic. Came about really quickly. He did his verse in like 15 minutes. And I'm a fan of Jay Wood's music. If you haven't listened to him, go follow him on Instagram. It's like @JayWoodSoul, SOLE. You can find his music. He has some heat.
We got more with my homie, man, Galaxy Francis, man. It's my brother, man, YTS Keys, man, and I, Brian Spencer, right here on Fusion Radio, man. Let's jump into this, The Shining, man, featuring Jay Wood, man. This Fusion Radio. Let's get it.
Young G-A-L-A X-Y X-Y They ain't drum it up. Space Boys Clean Out of there. I be glowing nowadays when you see me. My new nickname is The Shining. Stanley Kubrick. It's a movie. When I get it, I'm a red rum. Show you a little something. Just like clockwork, I be looking like artwork. And I be like, pose. I'm hitting my pose, flick, flash, flick, I'm getting off motion. No tweaking when I'm speaking. When a real one up, you should listen. I be really in the cut like a cabinet that's holding your knives in the kitchen. I be really in the cut like Decisions. I be really waking up with a mission. Waking up with a vision like Wanda. You see, I'm fond of the wiser moves. And I came with the lane like some bowling shoes. Me and the gang that I hang with a chosen few. Go to nowadays when you see me, my new nickname is The Shining. Stanley Kubrick, it's a movie. When I get it, I'm on red, rum, straight little some. Just like clockwork, I be looking like artwork. And I be like, flash, flick, watch your average step. I'm hitting my pose, click, the camera go flash, flick, I'm getting off here. Watch your
So I told Lil' Mama when she lonely, she can just look up, baby, take on me. It's a starry night, feeling risky with the car tonight. I put the tab on the LLC. I tell the truth, I don't tell no T. I've been broke, this ain't that. Full tank down, LSD. Windows down and the system slept. Cause I got good skin, good credit too. Living for the hype, I get it though. Cause it's 1, 2, 3 till they let it go. Then you better make sure it's what you ready for. Yeah, he got the dog in him, they gon' call Peter. When I'm on the leash, I'm on eater. Cause we was just in the rain. Water my pain till the
I glowing nowadays when you see me. My new nickname is The Shining. Stanley Kubrick, it's a movie. When I get it, I'm a red, rum, straight little some. Just like clockwork, I be looking like artwork. And I be like, pose, click, flash, flick, trip, watch your average step. I'm hitting my pose, click, flash, flick, I'm getting off here. Watch your average step.
So you on that soulful tip, I see, man.
Yeah, man.
Hit the soul in all type of ways, man. That's the brother, man, Galaxy Francis, man, with the single, man, The Shining, featuring Jay Wood, man. I love the synergy between you two, man. Like, man, it sounds like y'all been doing music together for a minute.
I think we live in the same world musically. We both have that appreciation for soul and auto-tune at the same time.
No doubt, man. No doubt, man. So I want to get into, we hear a song like that. And I know it piques the interest of so many people. And they like, man, I definitely want to hear more from Galaxy Francis. So, man, you actually dropped an EP series, man. I want you to talk to us about the title of the project. You dropped the first part, side A, in May. And you just dropped side B on August 2nd, man. Talk to us about this project.
3 days ago, my baby is out. So it started off as an entire album. And just based on like the way that people consume music now and the way that the project ended up being laid out, I thought it would be better to split them up. And the reason I think the way people consume music is about, you really got to have a fan base to put out an album and have that be appreciated, especially when you put a lot of detail into it. So Intergalactic was a bunch of songs that I made while I was finishing an album. And after I finished that album. So I was so happy with it and so excited about it. I was like, I got to put this out, but not as an album. We'll do 2 sides. Side A is more like the rapping stuff, more of what you hear on The Shining. And then side B is what you're about to hear with Friendly Skies, where it's more singing. It's more that 90s R&B influence that you'll really tap into.
So these both projects are available where for people to check out, man?
You can go to galaxyfrancis.com. That's the first place you can always go. But I'm on Instagram at galaxyfrancis. If you look on Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, Tidal, Napster, LimeWire, whatever, Galaxy Francis, it's there. Frostwire, everything. uTorrent, find me.
It was something I was listening to when you were speaking that I just want you to like expand on a little bit. Because like here at Fusion Radio, what we try to do is like with our artists that we have come in and stuff that we talk to, we try to have them like give certain type of gems and like get some type of like information to the people out there. Because it's a lot of people that listen to our show that's either artists themselves or used to be artists or inspiring to be artists or just like that's just interested in music in general. So like I heard you say that like when you putting out a project or like an album or however you want to do it, like EP or however you want to put out a project, you have to have some type of fan base.
Yeah.
Because if you just drop it just to drop it, it's not going to do what you necessarily wanted to do. So just as an artist, speak on that a little bit, because I feel like a lot of people just think like they could just say, okay, yeah, I'm dropping an album one day and then end up just dropping it and think that it's just supposed to do what it do. Like, no, you got to be at a certain type of level to do that. So, like, just speak on that a little bit for the people that's out there.
It's a business. Like, music is a business. That was a big learning curve for me. That's a big learning curve for a lot of artists, is that they don't understand the work that goes behind it. Like Lil Fred was talking about, like the mixing and mastering alone. Like that should be your first step before you even start talking about release dates. Is like, have that done. And then you talk about visual assets like cover art, photos, where you're gonna do shows. Like all of these things go into that. So this is a business, and the reason I say that is McDonald's is one of the most profitable companies in the country, in the world, but they still got commercials. You know, you got to really promote yourself with videos, with visuals. Instagram nowadays, I like to say with the digitalization of the industry. Before, it was you had to really go out and stand somewhere and sell your CDs out the trunk. You really had to be in person. Now, I think the game is just a lot more accessible, so it's oversaturated, but it's just as hard to break through, and it takes just the same amount of work to break through. So it's important that, you know, you build up a fan base, you build up a demand. That's why understanding it as a business is important. There's supply, there's demand. You know, you want to supply this music, but if there's no demand to it, you might get disappointed. You might lose out on money. That's a very real thing. That happens a lot in the music industry. So just kind of going in with a plan, also being able to have the space and the resources to go through the trial and error to understand that too. Like, it's a lot that goes into this music business, not just recording a song, not just producing the song, but there is a book that I will say will speak to all of this, and it's called All You Need to Know About the Music Business. I think it's like the 7th or 8th edition. If you are an artist, producer, songwriter, thinking about being a manager, just want to help your friend, like, read this book, and you will understand a lot about from song to being on Fusion Radio, you know, what that whole pipeline is, what you need to do to prepare yourself for that, and why it's important to build a brand and build a buzz before you drop something like an album.
I like everything you said, but one thing stood out to me even more than everything else you said. I like the fact that you said the process as far as building a buzz or getting your name out there is different than how it was back then, but it's not as simple and it's not just as easy. Like, people think just because we got social media now, like, it's easier than it was back then. No, yeah, you're more accessible, yeah, because you don't have to go out necessarily to see nobody, but at the same time, ain't everybody and anybody ain't just getting known from social media. So it's like, we not just gonna make it seem like everybody is just getting known. Like, it's a select few. You still, in some type of way, have to have talent. You still have to build that buzz. You still have to do groundwork in order to get that buzz that you're looking for. So I'm glad that you said it like that. Yeah. So one thing that I'm sitting there thinking about is, like, what's, like, for your career, what do you want to do, like, in a broader aspect? It's like, is it a bigger goal? Like, what are you really trying to do with your music, though? Is it, like, a specific message you just trying to get across? Like, are you trying to get yourself out the hood? Or is, like, what is the bigger picture with your music? Why do you necessarily really want to do music?
It's a lot of different answers to that. On a personal level, it just fulfills me. Like, it's the one thing that I just, like, know how to do, that I really like to do. Purposefully, I feel like it's my calling to inspire other people to figure things out and help other people through that process. I'm not only an artist, but I'm a producer, I'm an engineer. I help people finish their projects. So that's something that I want to do. I want to help develop other artists on a communal level. Kind of want to get into some type of programming for real, for kids to understand exactly what we're talking about. If they want to become an artist, even if it's just recording themselves at home, also giving them the information and the resources to expand on what we just talked about how to build a brand, etc. And then obviously take care of my family too. Like, I want what I care about, what I do to be able to live the life I want to live, but also make my family proud.
So it's something that I ran across, man, in your press release that I want to tip my hat to you about, man, that you do, that I feel like builds on, you know, the knowledge that you share, man. And that's that, man, every 2 weeks, man, you actually co-host Wind Down Wednesdays, man. So talk to us about Wind Down Wednesdays, man, because I really feel like this is a dope event that you're doing, man. And I feel like, you know, people being in the presence, they can like glean on some more knowledge, they can network. There's so much that can come out of this. But I want to hear from you, like, man, you know, what the whole Wind Down Wednesday experience is like.
Shout out my boy Renzel. Shout out Shape Studio Shapes. We are in Albany Park. Every 2 weeks, we host the Wind Down Wednesday where people can just come through, bring some vinyl, bring some wine, bring a little something else, you know, a little herbal essence, and just have a good time for real, and meet people that you might not meet. It was really my friend Renzel's idea, and just helping him bring that to life and being consistent with it has been my role, and continuing to create that community. But if you want to come through, meet some dope people, listen to some cool records, definitely come by. You will definitely see some people that might change your life.
That's what's good, man. So, man, we got to jump into this Friendly Skies, man. Talk to us about this Friendly Skies. Talk to us about the feature. Give us some more homework to do. You know what I'm saying, on this show, man. IG information.
I got the homie Renika, official Renika, Ranika on Instagram. This song came about just out of a love for like Genuine and Timbaland, if I'm not capping. And I just like collaborating with people, especially when I create a certain world. I can recognize that it's not just my voice that the song needs. So shout out to the homie, shout out Renika, shout out Left Lane, shout out my boy Daylight Tone in the house. He got a song out too that I've been helping with, but yeah.
Okay, so number one, Renika.
Right. I gave a lot of information.
Shout out her. No, man, that's good. We love that. Shout out her IG where people can go check for her.
At official Renika.
All right, and then shout out. You mentioned about the Daylight joint.
My boy Daylight Tone.
Right.
You know, I got him in the house today too. But we all move as a unit. You know.
All right. So talk to us about.
We got a track called Phone Off. That's out right now. We got a track called Language we did not too long ago, but he's got Phone Off that's going kind of crazy right now. Shout out to CB Beats, CB Mix. He did the production on that, you know. And I got a couple little cameo lines in Phone Off, so shout out to that. Shout out my boy.
All right, so man, like definitely, man, you definitely gave us a lot of homework to do when we get done with the show. A lot of homework. A lot of dope people to check out, man. Of course, you're dope yourself, man.
Thank you, bro.
Most importantly, we got to shout out your IG.
Shout out my IG. At Galaxy Francis. Galaxy Francis. With an I, not an E. Or you can just go to galaxyfrancis.com.
All right. And then, of course, visual-wise, man, I'm going to get a lot of people that's going to be like, I want to visually see what he looks like. I want to visually see how the whole music thing come together and all that stuff. Where do they go to check you out with that?
YouTube at Galaxy Francis. The Shining is out. I think Animal Planet, Sour Faces. So you can see what we cooking.
All right, well, let's jump into your single, man. Friendly Skies, bro, man. It was so, man.
Thank you.
Dopely
so much.
appreciated, man, to have you in our presence, man. Share your dopeness with us, man. We got to do this again in the future.
Anytime, bro. Thank you for real.
outer space. I can lift you up, tell me how you down.
I didn't even know I could get this high.
I can lift you up where you never come down. I didn't even know, now. Down, down, down. Down, down, down. Now that you got me aboard, I'll be your co-pilot. I'll fly it the way you like it. Yeah, yeah. Baby, you wanna live so. Say when it's time to descend, and we can do it again.
Just hop on this private plane. Tell me where to land it, babe. Flying through your friendly skies. Take me straight to outer space.
I can lift you up, tell me.